Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty amazing: how a few simple, safe exercises, all based on physiotherapy principles, can be a total game changer for building strength and staying independent as we get older. Let's get right to it.
You know, I really love this quote. It just perfectly sets the stage. This idea that we have to decline as we age, it's just not the whole story. Instead, think of it as a challenge, an invitation, really, to work with our bodies in a new and honestly, a much more powerful way. So, what is this use it or lose it challenge exactly? Well, it turns out that what we often blame on just getting older is actually something else. It's often the direct result of just not moving enough. I mean, think about it. That feeling when stairs seem tougher or carrying the groceries feels like a real chore, we tend to just chalk it up to another birthday, right? But more often than not, it's really about muscle loss from being less active. And that, well, that's actually good news because it's something we have a ton of control over. And that leads us right to the solution. If the problem is inactivity, then the answer has to be smart, safe, and effective activity. And this is exactly where the specialized field of geriatric physiotherapy shines.
Now, this isn't just your standard physical therapy. Geriatric PT is designed from the ground up for the specific needs of an aging body. The whole point is to build strength and endurance safely without putting extra stress on your joints, to help you do the things you want to do in your daily life. The goals here are so practical, and they make such a huge difference. First, you want to stop that muscle loss in its tracks. Second, and this is a big one, you want to lower your risk of falling. And all of this really rolls up into the most important goal of all: maintaining your independence, which, as we all know, is directly tied to your quality of life and just feeling good about yourself. Okay, so how does this all work in the real world? It all starts with a few simple but really effective exercises that you can do right in your own home. No fancy gym required. First up is the chair squat. And listen, this has nothing to do with heavy weightlifting. It's all about strengthening one of the most basic movements we do dozens of times a day: getting up and sitting down. Nailing this movement is absolutely key for stability. So, the secret here is all about control. You're going to stand in front of a sturdy chair, and the magic is in the timing. You lower down slowly for a count of 4, pause for just a second, and then you power back up on a 2 count. That slow, controlled movement is what builds strength without any risk. And the benefits? They're huge. You're not just strengthening your legs and your glutes, you're actively improving your balance, which is your best defense against falls. Plus, by keeping your back straight, you're firing up those core muscles and helping your posture at the same time. All right, next up for the upper body, we've got the wall push-up. This is such a great modification because it gives you all the strengthening benefits of a push-up without any of the strain on your wrists or shoulders. It's really simple. You're just standing and pressing against a wall. But in doing that, you're strengthening all those key pushing muscles in your arms, your shoulders, in your chest. It's a super safe, low-impact way to build that crucial upper body strength. And finally, let's talk about an exercise that is just a powerhouse for preventing falls: the heel raise. Sometimes people call it a toe stand. It seems small, but its impact on your stability is massive. And you literally couldn't ask for a simpler movement. Just hold onto a chair or a counter for a little support and slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet and then slowly lower back down. That's it. But what you're doing is strengthening your ankles and your calves, the very muscles that kick in to help you catch your balance if you start to wobble. So, it's pretty clear these exercises build up your body. But what if I told you that was only half the story? It turns out the benefits go way beyond your muscles and lead to an incredible and honestly pretty surprising boost for your brain.
Yeah, the connection between moving your body and your brain health is it's profound. The research is really clear on this. When you get your body moving, you are actively building a stronger, more resilient brain. Let's put some hard numbers on that. One massive study found that people who are physically active have a 38% lower risk of cognitive decline. I mean, think about that. That is a huge protective benefit. And it gets even more specific. When we look at dementia, regular exercise is linked to a 28% reduction in risk. Again, that's a significant drop. But this last number, this one is the real showstopper. For Alzheimer's disease in particular, active seniors saw their risk cut by a staggering 45%. Almost in half. These aren't small changes. These are absolute game changers, showing that simple movement offers profound protection for your brain. So, with all these incredible benefits for both your body and your brain, the only real question left is, how do you get started?
Well, the good news is it is way simpler than you probably think.
Getting started is actually really straightforward. First, just have a quick chat with your doctor, especially if you have any chronic conditions. You don't need any fancy gear, a solid chair, and some comfy, supportive shoes are all it takes. The most important part is to start slow and really focus on good form. Listen to your body. And finally, schedule it. Seriously, put it on your calendar 2 or 3 times a week. That's what makes it happen.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. Getting weaker is not something that just has to happen as we age. So much of it is just a side effect of being inactive. And that is something we can absolutely fight back against safely and effectively. The power to grow stronger is right there. The only question is, what's your first step going to be?